that you were able to join us today to help decipher all of the different options that we have for our businesses. So Monica, help us learn what we can do.
Okay. So I want to first make sure that you understand that I am not an expert on any of this, that we have been, all of us at Department of Commerce have been kind of thrown, as I think all of us have been in every single aspect of this pandemic, that we've been thrown into things that we've never had to do before. And so we're all learning as quickly as possible. And we're all being as patient with each other as much as we possibly can. And definitely trying to help as much as we possibly can. So there's a lot of information that has been coming out, and I was on a call an hour before this one and sharing information, and there was another person from the Small Business Administration on there, and he's like, oh, this information changed this morning. So we're finding that happening a lot. So what I'm sharing with you today is what I have received today. And it doesn't mean that it's going to be the same thing tomorrow. So there's two places that I really want you, everybody, to stay connected to. And that is the Kansas Department of Commerce's website, which is the kansascommerce.gov. That website will be kept up to date with whatever new information comes out. And then there's also the Small Business Administration website, which is the SBA.gov website that, from my understanding, they're keeping that information up to date as well. So I think that as things have been developed and information has come in, that they've learned what has worked and what doesn't work, and what businesses really need. So they have changed different aspects of the resources out there for those businesses to make them better and more streamlined. So there's a couple of things that I want to start off with saying is anybody on the call part of the hospitality industry, restaurants, hotels? Okay, no. So, good. So, because I was going to share information on that, so I won't bother with that. Being a small business owner or entrepreneur, you may have had your business drop completely to where you don't have any business coming in at the moment. And I've been told that you can qualify for unemployment. There's been a lot of issues with the unemployment that if you have questions specifically regarding unemployment, please send them to me, because I am trying to gather up the answers so you're not having to be on a call center phone call waiting to find out what your answers are. I've been trying to reach out to our contacts with Department of Labor and Unemployment for that. I don't have a lot of answers for the unemployment questions at all. So what I do have is for small businesses, and I'm sure that if you've watched any news at all, that you've probably seen that there is financial assistance through the Small Business Administration. There's two different types of financial assistance. One is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, or the EIDL loan. Everything has to have an acronym. So the EIDL loan, and then there's also the Paycheck Protection program. Those are the two main ones that really affect and that can assist small businesses. So Nicole, if you could put that spreadsheet up, instead of giving you a presentation on both of those programs, I received this spreadsheet this morning, and to me, it really, and hopefully you can have this shared with everybody after this. There we go. So this is the spreadsheet, and if you notice, the caveat at the very top of it was, this is an evolving work in progress, because things are changing all the time. But across the top of that, it has the different types of programs the SBA is offering and what you need in order to qualify for each of those. The Economic Injury Disaster Loan is the very first column there, and that is directly through the SBA. And you can get up to $10 million and pay it back over a 30-year period of time, and that is a direct loan. There's no application fee for that loan, but the interest rate is 3.75% for businesses. Or if you're part of a nonprofit, maybe you're on the board for your child's club team, it's a 2.75% for nonprofits is what the interest rate is. So it can be unsecured for up to $25,000. And if you don't have collateral for above $25,000, that is not a disqualifying factor. But of course, with anybody that's loaning money, they like to have some sort of collateral behind it. So this spreadsheet really does give a lot of information very quickly. Turnaround time for the economic injury disability disaster loan is 3 to 6 weeks. However, you can get up to $10,000 right away, say within 3 days. Thanks for using you noticed both of those, very good. You can get up to $10,000 within 3 days for your small business. And the small business is if you have 500 or fewer employees, which my understanding is all of you do. So that part of the EIDL loan will be part of the loan forgiveness, and actually could end up being part of the Paycheck Protection program, which is the next section, the next column there. The Paycheck Protection, which this is probably what I've been getting the phone calls the most on from small businesses, is that it will help cover payroll for your small business, which includes yourself, especially if you are paying yourself a paycheck. Helps cover payroll, covers mortgage or lease payments, utility payments for your business, basically to keep the doors open and the business running. It does not cover any service industries. I had never noticed that NAICS code beginning with 7.2, which is the food service, hospitality industries. It will not cover that. So it is a 7A loan, and for the Paycheck Protection program, you go through your bank. Whoever your trusted lender is, that's who you're going to go through to get that Paycheck Protection program loan through. They need to be an SBA 7A provider. So if your trusted institution is not a 7A provider, ask them who they would recommend for you to go to. I'm just trying to catch the high points on this. I did see a question pop up of, will they check your credit score? And they do check your credit worthiness, although it's not a disqualifying factor, is what we've been told. For the Paycheck Protection program, the turnaround time is about 2 weeks. So if you're needing that immediate assistance, start with the EIDL loan from the SBA.gov website, so that you can get that $10,000 immediately to keep payroll rolling, benefits going, and so forth. We have been told that for the SBA EIDL loan, it's better to apply and not need it than need it and take longer to apply, because there is no application fee for it. If you apply and are approved and are offered money, you're not obligated to take it. You can choose to take a portion of it, or you can choose not to take any of it. And if you are needing it, say 6 months down the road, you can go back in and request for it again. It does have a loan amount of up to $2 million. So if you took out a loan to cover $20,000 and 6 months later, you're saying that really wasn't enough, that you're trying to be conservative and protect yourself with it, then you can go back in and request more. But if you hit that $2 million maximum to it, you cannot request any more above that. Any questions so far? Because this is a lot of information. Do we need to let some of it settle in? You're muted, Deb.
Hey. Monica, I've seen two different things. 501c6s, did they include that in the payroll protection program?
I've only seen 501c3s for the payroll protection program are part of it. I'm not seeing that 501c6s are. I can put that down as one of my questions though to find out.
I think 501c4s are.
Place that they included 6 after the fact, but I would love to be able to have that verified.
Okay, I'll put that as one of my questions and hopefully I can have an answer to you by tomorrow for that.
Thank you, Monica.
Deb, are you going to share this comparison sheet with the members? You're on mute.
Would love to.
Okay.
And if I get an update to this, I'll be sure to send that out so you can send it out to your members as well.
And we might wait till tomorrow just to see if you do have an update and then maybe have some of the other questions that we get during this.
Yeah, that'd
so
be
we'll
great.
wait till tomorrow. Yeah, thank you.
So I do want to say that if anybody does have questions or needing, if you get into a loan and you're not for sure, or to a loan application, you're not for sure exactly how to answer it, you're more than happy more than welcome to email me or give me a call, and I'll do what I can to assist. If it's a specific financial question, it's probably best to go to your lender. If it's a tax question, probably best to go to your accountant, because I'm neither one of those. I know one question that has come up that I haven't got an answer to yet is, with the loan forgiveness, do you have to claim that on your taxes for 2019? So that's a question that's already come up that I'm just throwing it out there, as I don't have the answer to it yet, but that's a question that I'm working on getting the answer to. With it being a grant, I'm assuming that you have to claim it as income on your taxes for next year, but again, I need to find out for sure. So I'm going to open up the chat and see if there's any questions here that I can answer. So about the unemployment for the self-employed person, that is a question that I have already emailed off and hoping to get an answer from the unemployment office with that as well. There's probably 3 other questions I had regarding that. What I've been told from businesses or self-employed individuals that have applied for unemployment already, that they're being denied right off the bat. So we need to find out why that is, because it's not supposed to be happening that way. Okay, so another great question from Rick was, if you receive the SBA grant, does that reduce the amount of the Paycheck Protection Program loan? And you're right, that's NEJC code that start with a 72, which is the service industry, like hospitality industry. They don't qualify for the payment protection program or payroll protection program, is my understanding. So if you're going to use the SBA EIDL grant or loan and the payment protection program, Paycheck Protection Program grant, you can utilize both of them. You can apply for both of them. You cannot use them for the same purposes. So if you have the payroll protection program that you're going to be utilizing to keep your payroll going, to pay for your utilities, and to pay for your lease payment, and you can show that that's what you used it for, you cannot use the SBA EIDL loan to pay for those same things. The EIDL loan is larger and will cover other expenses beyond the payroll. And to tell you exactly what those expenses are, I can't right off the top of my head. So can you bring the chart back up again? You've heard, so Sarah said that you heard you do not have to claim it. Okay, so regarding if you take out if you get the grant or the forgivable loan, and maybe that's why they're calling it a forgivable loan. So it's not income coming in. So I just wanted to look at this real quick for the EIDL loan of what you can actually use it for. Is I do know that you can use it for debts that you incurred before February 15th, 2020. You can use it to pay those interest payments. So say you bought a large piece of machinery right before all this took place, and now you're going to start making payments on it. It will assist with help making those payments as far as the interest. The loan you don't have to start paying on it for a year, but it will start accumulating interest for that year as well. Can you scroll down just a little bit? So this is from Rick, that they were told this morning on a tax webinar that the grant is considered taxable income. Okay. So and you have to apologize that one of the reasons why I'm going slow is that this information has changed from yesterday, when I received information from yesterday, to today. So here on this note too, it says loans can be made based solely upon the credit scores. We were told that, but they also said that it's not going to be a reason to disqualify you from being able to get those loans. As far as the state's other assistance right now, the Kansas Department of Commerce, the entire team is now focused on just helping the small businesses through this process. So we do have a chat line on the, actually it was taken down yesterday because it got overwhelmed and froze or crashed on us. But we do have a chat line to help people through a lot of the questions on the EIDL and the Paycheck Protection Program. All the regional project managers, which I'm the regional project manager, as Deb said, for Johnson County. I'm willing to talk you through, or if you have direct questions, you can definitely call me. If I don't have the exact answer to give you at that particular time, I'm going to get the answer for you. We've had lots of questions come in, and it's helping us all learn as we go along. The one thing that I have heard is that if you start the application for the EIDL loan online, that you need to finish it at that same time that you're not able to save it and come back to it later. If you go to the SBA website, they do have that loan in a PDF format that you could download and print off, so that you know all of the documents that you need to have in order to apply for that loan. We've been told that the most common mistake that's being made is that there's not enough information given, that a person hasn't, like on the personal financial statement, that they're not completing the personal financial statement correctly, and or taking into account all of their assets. Like a lot of times houses are being left off, or the value of the house is on there, but is there a mortgage on it? That's being left off. People are leaving off, or they're using their death benefit amount on their life insurance as their cash value amount, and that's two different amounts. So those really small mistakes financially that you may need to contact your tax advisor or your financial advisor, or just take a little extra time to gather the information, because unfortunately you're not able to save it and come back to it. Are there any other questions that have come up? So you see that private C3s are eligible. This is from Michael. You see that private 501c3s are eligible, and our public 501c3s eligible for EIDL, Advance, or Payment Protection Program. I don't know about the 501c4s. Somebody else made a comment about that earlier. 501c3s are eligible, public and private. As long as they have 500 or fewer employees, the 501c3s are. So Rick said that the SBA grant is very straightforward and takes about 10 to 15 minutes to complete. I find that interesting that you stated that, because we were told on our last phone call yesterday that to plan for about 2 hours to complete it. So it's, I don't know which one it is, 10 to 15 minutes to 2 hours. Because when I looked at it, it looked like something that you could complete relatively quickly. But if you don't have all the information readily available, it might take some time to complete that.
Tony, I can't figure out chat. I have an old computer, but like right now, I'm not in distress. But I'm not in distress because I rent space for material storage and for materials, and I don't know if I'm going to be in distress until close to the December deadline. Do you have to be distressed to be able to qualify for any of these loans?
You do not have to be distressed in order to qualify for them. You have to spend the money on what you say you're going to spend the money on. So what I have suggested to other folks is that go ahead and apply for it, and then really determine whether or not you're going to need it. They do look at your financials for the business. They look at your the sales that you've had or the revenue that you've brought in and your expenses. So they will look at those that information, as Rick said, that those two pieces of financial information for the past 12 months, and provide the loan value or the loan amount that you might possibly need based on that. Now, you may very well have money saved that could cover your expenses for now. But you have that money saved for a reason. So if you don't have to access it to cover your expenses at this moment because of this pandemic that none of us knew was going to happen, or most of us didn't know. I guess there's conspiracy theorists that say that they knew it was happening. But so you could utilize the loan so that you can keep your money in your savings. And so I was saying earlier that you don't have to accept the loan, and you can always go back and re-request it if you didn't accept it, or if you didn't accept enough. Okay, so you're saying that Rick said that the SBA grant and the SBA EIDL grant applications are two different applications. And my understanding is the EIDL grant is what we were told would take about 2 hours to complete. So Deb, are you saying something?
You said that you would help, so
Oh, you muted yourself again.
what's the best way to reach out to you for help?
By email is probably the best way, which it's monica.breedy@ks.gov.
Thank you.
I hope you shared my tagline there. Didn't notice that you had done that. Rick, you've given a lot of really good, valuable information during this. Do you want to share anything else that I'm leaving out completely? So if you can share the spreadsheet with everyone, I don't think I'm going to take up an entire hour for it. Is there something, the 72 was in the payment protection program part. So thank you for sharing the spreadsheet. If I gather more information, or more information comes through to me, helpful little resources, cheat sheets, that type of thing, I'll be sure to send them on to Deb and her team so that she can send them out to all of the members so that they can utilize them. Some of these little cheat sheets and what's going to be best to helping you make your business decisions are very helpful, rather than trying to go through and decipher all the legal jargon through all of the CARE Act and the SBA loans. Are there any other questions I can answer? I felt like I went through it very, very fast, and I just highlighted the top points. Did you have another question, Deb?
No, but I think if we're done with questions, we'll give you a virtual round of applause. Thank you so much, because I think that the explanations and then sharing that spreadsheet is going to be as helpful as anything. So thank you so much for taking your very, very busy time and sharing it with us today.
Okay, thank you very much. And good luck to everybody. Stay safe.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you.